to Zoe, just saying that it was an option as the Wukong is going to come out here up against the Camille.
I love this. This is actually exactly the strategy that was utilized overseas. And we'll see whether it's going to work out here for SANDBOX. I mean, there's still so much magic damage. It's why you're able to take these very aggressive physical damage lanes in the Irelia and the Wukong. And the pile-in strategy that you can do with this composition is great. However, T1 do have a lot of answers for that. Zoe likes to skirt fights. Bard likes to break fights up. Tempered Fate is going to be so valuable in this game. Camille likes to just split push, and SANDBOX, that's exactly not what they want to do. So, two teams with some very different win conditions. However, T1 should, if they are able to play out the macro well, get the one-up over SANDBOX, because they should be able to play that smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this comp, and it's like, how the hell did they get this? And
yeah, right.
The reason is because the other side is going for a very specifically crafted comp that goes with a lot of off-meta picks, and so a lot of stuff just gets left available, and so they did get their pick of the litter, and that's absolutely scary. Now, we'll just have to see if the power of this crafted comp that Yamato obviously had a big influence coming into this one, you would have to imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just going to have to see if they have it practiced well and if they can actually pull it off after about, I'd imagine, a week of practice.
The thing that I find really interesting is that T1 didn't actually ban the Hecarim. Hecarim is being used, I believe, in every single Sona Lux composition. And it might be a bit telling that T1 haven't necessarily been focusing on every region. And maybe they've been caught by surprise. So maybe that's going to be something. I would expect T1 to know as Silent Knight Sona. What a glorious skin. I love that one. It's just so classy.
Yeah, it's very nice. And just thinking about the two bans that they did go for, the Sejuani with the Irelia is a great combo. And I suppose that with this kind of comp, you may expect another melee attacker up on the top side, and then the Renekton into the Camille. It looked like they were really trying to pick up that Camille and didn't want to have to go into the Renekton, but the point still does stand that, you know, with the giving the power to the top side and taking power away from the jungle, you're still going to get that give that very powerful jungle pick over. So it was kind of, you know, which hard thing are you going to go up against? And T1 chose the Hecarim.
You'll notice Ignite Smite onto OnFleek as well. No need for Flash. You've got Onslaught of Shadows, so no worries there. Arcade Hecarim as well.
Ability.
What do you mean? No, it's because he's part of the trinity of Onslaught sort of abilities. You know, you got Onslaught of Shadows, Unstoppable Onslaught from Scion, and then you've got Unstoppable Force from Malphite, and it's like learning names in this game is just really frustrating.
Yeah, you know, that's actually a really good way to remember stuff, is to group it up into stuff just like you did. So maybe that's the reason you just you're just really good at remembering things, Atlas.
I'm absolutely not. That's why I don't speak Korean yet, dude.
Well, maybe you just got to group them up more.
Yeah,
maybe that'll work.
Maybe I can. I mean, if I did that with Juseo, then it's like actually everything, because you can say that to
yeah, that's
like everything. It's like it's already grouped up, and it actually makes it harder.
Yeah. Well, it's been almost a year. 4 days off there as KT's Prey did lose to Damwon Nuclear on the Kaisa in 2019. It was a different time, guys.
It certainly was.
Very different time. Nothing in that sentence made any sense for right now.
I believe Prey is going to be on the LCK later, on the Sunday Night League. I believe that's only on the Korean broadcast, but I think Prey, Marin, they're both going to be there, alongside Pawn, who's also going to turn back up. OnFleek's up here. Cuzz is going to look for this dive. So OnFleek in position, doesn't exactly have the health bar. This is a dangerous dive at level 3, especially with the decoy available. Canna doesn't have the turret aggro. Grabs himself the physical shield. He's going to be okay. Good positioning there from OnFleek, but maybe could have cantered past the Camille in order to try and push him back in the other direction.
He's sticking around here. There's a lot of pings going over to the red buff, and then he was kind of hanging around mid lane.
He's walking so slow. It's like, you do.
Just gonna take it. Okay.
And I guess he can do that. OnFleek not exactly very healthy at this point in time. As we'll see whether he even... No, he's not even going to check. Just going to go back. As Cuzz so far, 4-0 on the Volibear. Not bad. Teddy, just not great on
first
the
pick.
Ezreal stats. Yeah. Apart from Summit, 1-4. Not great as far as the Wukong is concerned. But now, ooh, tactical sweep. Scary. Canna. Hookshotting. That's not what you want. That's a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. And Ignite very early. As now, oh my god, double teleports from T1. And that's the kind of respect you get with 22 solo kills under your belt. Canna's like, save me, boys. And they all came up.
Yeah. Clozer gets up there, Fate gets up there, and he did have to flash to get out of that one. Now Summit is going to save his flash. They're both going to TP back in. So it is going to be a nice little win here, as the cannon will be secured here by Canna. So good for him to pick that one up. And the jungler route from Cuzz was very interesting. I think it's definitely something that would make LS mauled out of control, where he just ignores his entire jungle. He's like, yeah, I don't really need those camps. I'm just going to take your camps, and I'm going to look for an early gank. I'm going to look to Sin, as he would put it. And, you know, Volibear at level 3 does have some pretty intense ganking potential, as we did see, but it got denied, and then he was able to get in there and take away the red. So for now, it is working out.
Well, you can see OnFleek just going to help shove this wave in, give Fate another back. He's going to head back there. You can see is within touching distance of the Zoe CS. Certainly good news as Canna gets underneath this turret just to thwack Summit a little. Fleek's puppies are going to be taken by himself. As that paddle star is a bit of a hitbox question mark right there. But very nicely done from Clozer.
Teddy's... he actually stepped back in the lane and then he massaged his neck at the same time. That was kind of interesting.
What's happening?
Multitasking.
This horse just wants to get in lanes as we missed a cannon. That's bad news, Bears. But they do get the wave crash. These junglers need to start jungling. You know?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that... Cuzz has just been in the face of OnFleek the entire time, and OnFleek's like, well, I guess...
Oh, dearie me. That's a lot of damage. It's all right. Fate has his Corrupting Potion running, and should be able to use the Ionian Fervor to get his health back up as well. See whether he can push this lane, as Effort's going to move on in. He's doing a bit of chime hunting, as no stun to be had here by Fate. As there's the Vanguard's Edge, flash out from Clozer as he does break the wall. But Cuzz once again in great position. All right.
Looks like Gorilla just ran on top of a trouble bubble that was on the ground. Did look a little bit silly, but there was no... Oh, did he just walk over that ward?
Oh, no. He had places to be.
Well, he does have to get to this blue buff. Cuzz is just relentless.
Yeah, he's just not letting OnFleek jungle. Oh boy. That's what's happening as Root's going to come on over. Doesn't have the crescendo just yet as... Wow, that was a magical journey.
Yeah, he's a pretty good champion, guys, by the way.
Yeah.
You may have heard of him. His name is Brad.
Brad the Chad.
Big fan.
As Gorilla and Root, yeah, they're not going to take too much damage from that True Shot Barrage. I believe that was like Guardian W and Gorilla's W. So yeah, that's what this combo does, is OnFleek gets a blue. So there we go. Look at these control wards, though, in the Hecarim's jungle. Very sneaky.
Yeah. And that is something that OnFleek should be looking for, especially when the enemy jungler has been in your jungle about 3 or 4 times now in a row in the early game. It's definitely not uncommon to have control wards lying around sneakily, and there was the one that he ran right by, so we're going to have to hope that he takes that away eventually. Otherwise, they're going to have full knowledge on where that dangerous Ignite jungler will be, and will be looking for ganks.
All right, well, checking in on the top side. Summit's just taking some damage here from Canna, who's having a great time here in this lane, as you can see. It's going to be pretty even as far as CS is concerned, but I always get scared when a Camille gets a free lane, because she just does scale and scale and scale. True damage will do that. As you can see, gold in the lead here for T1 in every lane. Nothing's really happened. It's just been better laning. As you can see, 700 gold in the lead for the Ezreal. As you can see, the supports are pretty close. 700 gold is actually not as much as I was expecting. You look at the CS gap, I mean, it's just gigantic. So the Spell Thieves are working between the two.
Yeah, stacking those up, and we'll get there eventually as we're taking red buff again.
Oh, man.
But OnFleek might just not care and try to go for the gank here.
Yep, Cyclone comes in as he almost wins that one by himself as Tempered Fate comes down as well. Summit trying to get in position. Ignite goes in onto Canna. Summit secures that kill now as OnFleek's getting so much health back from that W, but now it's ran out and he has to get underneath that turret. A magical journey comes on in and Clozer not going to be able to kill the horse. It's amazing this time around as Summit is going to continue shoving this one through. So first blood going over to SANDBOX. True Shot Barrage not going to find OnFleek.
He's still on vision. They just see him everywhere he goes. Clozer might try to get in there, but there is a control ward guarding him in that little brush. So he should know about the Zoe. We're not actually seeing this as the Zoe did use the flash to try to get in there. The picked up flash, not her own, but still able to pick up the red, and that's all good. And that's really good for SANDBOX. I mean, especially when you're getting your red invaded and there's so many members up top side, and you're still able to get a kill and get out alive. Definitely a good trade for them, so gotta like it. You get the Wukong a kill early on, so you can continue building towards his expensive early items.
Yep, definitely high value. I think that's exactly where OnFleek needed to be on this map, as he's now got his Pahage, double Pahages as far as the top side of the map is concerned. What? Pahage. Phage.
Pahage.
Pahage. You know, LS has infected my brain with fun to pronounce things.
Fair enough.
As Canna, we're going to have a look at this one more time. And it looked like Summit almost just had it under control by himself, to be honest.
Yeah, and it was a good dodge here by Canna, and effort nearly able to save him, but the Ignite comes down. They realize, well, he's probably not going to die from that if he has a potion ticking. Summit's able to get on in there with his own flash. Thankfully, OnFleek was taking a lot of the heat on the top side, so even when Summit was diving in for the kill, he didn't really take any damage on the backside going out, and was able to just safely and securely pick that up. And it's good because he still had his flash from the trade earlier on, if you remember, up in the top side where Canna lost his, whereas he probably would have survived if he did have it. So all these things do come into play. At the end of the day, though, I mean, it is the first blood going the way of SANDBOX, but the bottom lane, they're struggling to stack their Spell Thieves, and the Ezreal is kind of just getting a free lane for now. And they also picked up Infernal Drake, the T1, so they're definitely in a good spot for now.
Yep, no Ocean Soul this time around. I believe when we saw Mad Lions, they also managed to get a 3-stack Ocean Soul on top of having Sona Lux. That was repugnant, to be honest. Just looked impossible to deal with. As OnFleek, he's in his favorite place, which is inside a lane. Look, that cannon was on 2 health and he only did 1 damage to it. That's what happened.
Sona autos are so sad.
I know, it's a big problem.
OnFleek didn't even stay to try to get it. Like, you might as well just give it to him.
Well, Fate going to be chunked here, but does have a CS advantage because of the roaming that Clozer has been doing. But Clozer, no assists or kills to his name. Certainly works out for the Irelia, whose job is mainly going to be trying to deal with Canna in a side lane as this one goes along. And you can see at the moment is currently ahead in farm in comparison to said here. Okay, here's the combo, but it's going to be blocked mainly, and there's a brilliant Tempered Fate. All of them still set up as the Sona is going to go down first, and T1 just mauls SANDBOX. The combo just didn't work, and T1 are going to have to say thanks to their Bard, as that was a great decoy sent out by Summit. But honestly, the damage has been done, and it's only going to get worse, as T1 will also funnel all of this plate gold into both Canna and Teddy with the help of Shelly. Oh no, maybe SANDBOX have mind-gamed themselves with this composition.
Yeah, I mean, they're showing a lot of respect to T1, and they're trying to really play something out of the ordinary to try to overcome them, and unfortunately, it doesn't work the way that it's played out in this game, at least. And there's a reason why Bard is banned so often, as Fate's going for it, but...
Yeah, he's just not really doing any damage. Seeker's Arm Guard, pretty good item. And yeah, Clozer just
Yeah, he's even going to get some mana there. But yeah, just, I mean, in the fight, like, if Bard can set it up so that he catches both Sona and Lux, like, you're not going to have a good time. It's just not going to happen. As a lot of action, a lot of trading back and forth here.
And True Shot Barrage to soften up Summit. Another Mystic Shot as well. Teddy looks angry. As OnFleek, I believe, was able to take that Rift Scuttler. And as you can see, he was. So Gorilla and Root just parked themselves in the mid lane, Clozer with not very much mana available, and Canna's looking to steal away this blue buff. We'll see whether Fate's going to move in to try and grab it. As Effort sweeping out Vision. As that might have been a dangerous Nimbus. What's it called? Nimbus Strike? Nimbus Strike.
I think it's Nimbus Strike.
It is. I just couldn't remember the word strike for some reason.
Clozer's being a bully.
He is.
He did not have to TP to that ward to try to trouble bubble the Irelia. Just maybe hoping the Irelia wouldn't realize. As there we go. There's the replay.
All
and
right.
yeah, I mean, like, okay, you're trying to set this up, but look at Effort. He repositions himself and he gets the perfect ult. And at first you're like, well, you know, maybe some of the damage from the Volibear is denied, but the double stun comes in. The two supports are doing nothing. And they're so squishy right now. And they're set up in a place by the Bard where they cannot
헤카림
escape.
아래쪽이다. 이러면 빼자.
And just like that, in one fell swoop, Bard carries the whole
탑쪽으로 가자.
fight.
기다려.
As-
아래 텔 봐줘, 텔 봐줘. 우산이야 공 써봐.
Watch the teleport.
야, 각 좋아, 각 좋아.
It's good, it's good.
소나부터, 소나부터.
Get Sona.
헤카림 점사해, 헤카림. 50 노플, 50 노플, 50 노플. 50
No
노플이야.
flash on
Let's go.
Wukong. Yeah, just Effort leading the charge. He's talking so much.
Yeah.
He's going into that, and
I also
really
love
did
it.
set it all up.
We were talking about him being a shot caller earlier, and now he's on a champion that has so much agency at the same time. Like, Bard does it all. He's just too versatile. And with Effort having such a strong voice on the team, it certainly does help out as well. So really, really cool to see Effort taking control and also just playing really good. But it's not over yet, you know? Sona Lux is a scaling composition. You're supposed to get the horse super tanky. He first needs a Trinity Force, not tanky yet. And then you're going to have so much healing, not even 1,000 Morellonomicons could stop it.
Yeah, and that's why, as SANDBOX, with this composition, you can't be running into the river
Yeah, right.
and grouping up against a Bard and making it really easy. It's not the easiest composition to play, especially for the bottom lane. So there's a lot of pressure onto Root and Gorilla, at least early on in the game. Once it gets late game, you can kind of, you know, chill back, give some shields and heals, support your big ol' horse. But until then, you can't just be given free gold over to the enemy team, which is unfortunately what happened. And now it's Teddy on Ezreal, 2-0-1, and he went Trinity Force.
Yeah.
I think he might just be able to close the game out himself. We'll have to see how quickly T1 can close this game out, though.
Still only that one kill on SANDBOX's side as far as any sort of objectives. Top outer turret has been taken, bottom outer turret and mid outer turret. T1 are in so much control. It's the fastest I've seen T1 play in what feels like 6 months. It's crazy. But also, SANDBOX have a composition that doesn't really work in the early game. Just doesn't. Doesn't really function yet. And you need items. They need things to not go quite as catastrophically as they have so far. As you see Summit, he's a long way away from his Trinity Force. Same thing can be said for OnFleek. Thankfully, Fate does have his. And we'll see whether they can actually get the team fight to work. Because, I mean, doesn't matter really how the early game goes. This SANDBOX comp still does work really well if you can get the enemy team to clump up and you can fight them. Maybe don't focus on the Volibear who can just eat all the CC with his ultimate. That's probably a whoopsie.
Yeah.
So maybe find a different champion like any of the other champions.
Yeah,
And
any
then
of
do it
the
there.
four.
I mean, maybe not Canna because Hextech Ultimatum also dodges CC. Oh no. Maybe this is not the composition to play this into.
Yeah, I do like the Camille in general, but also against this comp, I think it does have a lot of value. And we, as you mentioned, because SANDBOX are going to just be looking to scale And T1 aren't, you know, they're not really in a huge rush just yet. I think they can pick up a couple of Mountain Drakes, maybe go for Baron and then end the game. They're still far enough ahead to do that from here, to the point where they do not have to rush. I think we are just going to enter a little bit of a lull in the game.
Yep, potentially a lull state here. You're right. SANDBOX, not going to lose too much health under this turret, as you can see. Not a lot of range as the bubble did connect onto the Sona. Having a bit of a zoom out, checking out Summit and Canna fighting on the bottom side. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's like 2 autos.
It's Trinity Force, right?
What?
He has QSS too, so...
Damage is ridiculous. Fate is just, sorry, Teddy is just gigantic. Onslaught of Shadows used defensively. Gorilla and Fate both set up, as that is a beautiful Cosmic Binding. Summit moves on over, but even he's not tanky. Remember, he's trying to build a Trinity Force. Only has 2 bits of it. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, if you see the composition coming and you get ahead with Poke, you're going to have a fun time against 2 of the squishiest champions in the game, right? And it looks real good against Root and Gorilla, but it also looks quite good against anyone. Even Fate was taking massive damage from WQ, from the Ezreal.
Oh my god, he exploded! X-Tech Ultimatum means he can't do anything. Well, he thought that his jungle was his jungle, Valdez. His jungle is not his jungle. It's in fact this whole game. The whole rift is Teddy's rift right now.
It was
He
like
is
the
just
Hecarim
huge.
turbo int into the jungle. Like, let me run as fast as possible into the enemy. Unfortunately for OnFleek, I guess he thought they had a little bit more control, but it did look a bit silly running straight into the now 3-0 and 1 Ezreal. Level 12, by the way.
Yeah,
Same as the solo laners.
As the Mirror Mana completed, QSS there just in case he takes any CC. He's 40 CS ahead of the clock because he's Teddy. He finds minions that you can't find. It's just how that works. Bit of a Logitech shout out there, that's pretty cool. Didn't know that we changed the flags to the brands. As let's have a look at this one more time.
Where's he going?
Oh no!
There's nobody even in the lane.
This isn't where I parked
There's
my car.
there's nothing in the jungle that he could even possibly want to get. Like, he's like, let me run towards my wolves that are definitely taken.
I mean,
Okay.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
What? Yeah, OnFleek, you probably don't want to be running after them there. This Gorilla is, you know, look, that's a big shield. And unfortunately, Teddy with like 2 autos and a Mystic Shot, Gorilla's dead. Maybe not 2, maybe 1 auto and a Mystic Shot.
Well, they're all kind of healed up from now. It looks like SANDBOX really want to take a fight. Look at the way they're positioning, all 5 of them just trying to run forward down mid.
They're like, let's see if we can make this work. And with a Mountain Drake alive, there's no better time to start than now. As Clozer comes into the side, Tempered Fate lands onto 4 members. And in goes the Volibear. Everyone just gets pounded. Teddy with a double kill. Is it going to be the triple as he is going to pick that one up? Now he's looking for that penta, but Clozer says no. And Effort going to fly on through his magical journey, and he's taking his team on 1 here today. As T1 will be able to close this one out. Probably their fastest victory in the 2020 summer season.
Wow. I think you might be right. I think this might just be the end. Gorilla's going to spawn. As you can see, Effort is already setting up for it. You have to call this... Oh, well, they're not going to go for it. If this was Dom 1, they would have gone for it.
Oh, yeah, the game would have been over.
But T1, they're a little bit safer. They're 6-0 Ezreal. Just not good enough. He picked up a lot of gold. We need to get him another item. Maybe then we can fight.
Maybe he can go back and finish like Death's Dance and Mercurial Scimitar with the amount of money that he has. I don't know. He's got a lot of money.
Do whatever he wants. He can buy a Leandry's right now.
Yeah,
He can buy a Medai's. Let's do it.
And he's even going to be able to take the Drake.
So this is Sir Bradley McChattinson. I don't know why you're leaving Bard available against this team.
God! Look at that onslaught of suicide.
They propagated the snowball for sure.
They definitely did.
Propagated hardcore. And there just wasn't, I mean...
hardcore propaganda.
You can't group up like this against Bard. He shouldn't be in the game. He should have been banned.
Oh, man.
He's too good. There's a reason why every other team is like banning him first phase, but I mean, I understand. There's only 3 bans, and they really need to get rid of Blitzcrank for the lane.
노잼.
Teddy's calling for it, and he's like, oh, it's no fun, no jam.
Yeah, that's because Clozer stole it away. And therefore, Cuzz is able to take that one. 2,000 gold, not bad.
He's like calling out the Clozer, and I think he said it's okay.
All right, that's a snowball item. That's a dust-bladed Drakthar. All right. We've seen Ezreal's build lethality in the past. This is if you want to win the game now. And if no one on the enemy team has any defensive statistics. Guess what? No one on the enemy team has any defensive statistics. So yeah, Teddy's going to be able to kill Gorilla with 1.5 Mystic Shots, I reckon.
Yeah. I wonder if he can like one-shot him with WQ.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's just line it up and see. I want to see the experiment.
Well, there's an Onslaught of Shadows just onto Clozer. They might be able to kill him, but no. He goes golden. And Teddy, that's the ulti, doesn't really land. As now Summit's trying to do something. He's going down very, very low, but so far, SANDBOX is staying alive. As I say that, though, OnFleek is going to fall. And now, the onslaught of the Teddy machine, launching himself forward. Gorilla does soak 1 Mystic Shot, but is he going to be able to soak a gigantic Bear Smite? I do not think so, as T1 looked like they were going to play it slow, but now it's over. This game was really fun, though.
Yeah.
And it's good to see Teddy having a good time and trying to boost his pretty abysmal Ezreal stats at the moment.
Well, he certainly did that. As